I don't really know what to say, but it sounds sweet, that title for us, and would have never thought we could do it. I don't even think when I took the job I thought this was possible in this kind of league and these kinds of coaches and, the athletes that we're going up against and players. So it just is a testament to, anything's possible. That's what our head football coach just said in there. And if you get the right people in place and that believe and work and are committed to each other, you can accomplish amazing things together. So couldn't be more proud. 3 special people up here. I also want to just the other, 2 seniors, Eminem Curvis and Grace Sarver, what those guys have done it for our program over the years is pretty short of a miracle. So really proud of the upperclassmen on this team.
Thank you. We'll start in the front row here. Got a mic on.
Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Kamie, before we get to the 3 ladies, to your right, I think their names come up first, but Astera, off the bench, her defensive tenacity today, her efficiency at both ends, I mean, you can equally say that she was just as valuable as anyone else on the court today, especially locking down Kiki.
Yeah. Well, she's she's not really a freshman, and we knew it the first day she got to campus, which was in August. She didn't come to summer school. She left home at 14 to go play in Spain. So that takes a special kind of kid that goes and does that, and responsibility and put on, playing on a pro team that, again, accountability and responsibility and just maturity. And she plays with that. She just plays a lot older than she is. So I don't think, and she's got it. She's her IQ. Like, we had all the plays in, or a bunch of plays in, and it's overwhelming for most of our freshmen. And she walks in and goes, okay, yeah, I'm good. So just has a great IQ. And again, just tough as nails, and proud of her performance, and really happy for her. Her aunt, who lives in the States, came and surprised her this morning and came to the finals. So, just getting a little bit of home here for her. So she's a great player for us, and is going to be a great player for a long time.
Thank you. Michelle?
Michelle Smith, Pac12.com. I'll start with Charlize, but I want to hear from all of you climbing that ladder and cutting down a net. Describe the feeling.
Oh, my gosh. Never would have thought we would be doing that. We've watched teams do that in the past, or especially my last 3 years, and that moment just felt so surreal. To get up there, cut down the net, actually soak in that we're champs. It's just been such a process, and, the journey that we've been on, especially throughout the season, we've had a lot of ups and downs, and to come out with this win, this championship, it means so much to so many people, and just so grateful to be a part of that.
I know it may be my last in the Pac-12, obviously, but I know it's not going to be their last. So, yeah.
I was actually nervous because I didn't know how to do that. It was like, be careful so you don't fall down on the ladder. But it's just an amazing feeling, and like Charlie said, we've watched a lot of teams do that in the past years we've been at WSU, but we've earned this moment. Like, we've earned every single thing that happened to us the past week here, and every one of us in the whole team have put the work in. So it's an amazing feeling, feel that the work we've put in and just finally showing off and paying off.
Matt?
Matthew Walter with the next coach and Charlize. I just want to ask about Charlize's growth over the time that she's been at WSU, to go from where she was as a freshman to now being Pac-12 tournament most outstanding player. Just how you've seen her develop, and obviously you had Crystal, but she's a very different player. Just where she's come from to where she is now, how you've seen her grow both as a player and as a leader.
Well, I personally don't think Charlize has gotten much better, in the sense that she was a stud when she walked in, and we didn't have as many pieces around her, but IQ-wise, leadership, maturity, voice in the locker room. There was just the character across the table. You just never have to spend 1 second on any of that. She's just high character in everything that she does, grades with her professors. I mean, she's just an amazing student athlete. And, I think where we had a chance this summer to keep her, she wanted to be here this summer. And so it's true, probably growing up, she plays a lot more 5-on-5 in summers and plays on national teams. And sometimes you might not get as much individual work. We looked at some statistics for her, and wanted to improve some of those things, some of her shooting percentages and just off the bounce and things like that. And we're really I think that helped. I think Lori Kane, my associate head coach, just does an amazing job in player development. And, I think, that obviously is a growth for her. Maybe that's the one area that I think she can continue to get better as an individual player. But team-wise, leadership, work ethic, commitment to the program, all in. She was a star from the moment she got here, and that's a credit to her mama and her daddy and her family and her culture and her sister and sisters. And, she's a leader. She's a leader on and off the court. Now, I would say, Crystal's voice was loud, and so Charlize probably didn't have as loud a voice, but I've said it a lot. They were far enough apart that this is Charlize's voice. Like, this is her natural, the way she is now. She probably didn't quite do as much when Crystal was around. But she didn't have to change. She just walked into what she really is as a leader in her voice and directing and coaching me and telling me what needs to be done. And I'm just as fortunate as can be to be able to coach her.
Go ahead.
Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Charlize, I think when you were on that riser and you were handed the trophy, there wasn't a soul in the arena whose heart you didn't touch. From the moment you threw the ball up to cutting the net down, can you just talk about honoring your grandmother's memory? And if I may ask what her name is.
Yeah, her name's Medea Smith. That's my mom's mum. And yeah, she obviously passed away earlier this year in the middle of the season. A big shock, really. It wasn't really expected, and that was really hard for me, having to kind of go. I found out in the middle of a road trip, so I think it was Oregon State. We won that game and on such a high, and then she passed away that night, and had found out then and had to play the Oregon game. Didn't really want to let the team know at that point, just so they didn't have to kind of worry about it, and then flew home straight after that game. So I think just that whole period, after Christmas, I also went home. She was sick, so I went and visited her, and then that was the second time I went home. But yeah, it was a lot for me. Obviously very close with her. But I'm just grateful, that I got to go home. And again, that's part of the reason why I came to this program, because, Coach E and her staff, they treat you as people first, and there was no way they weren't obviously going to stop me from going home. And the girls, in that locker room after that game, Ula said, we all have your back. We love you. Go home, do what you need, stay as long as you need. And then, obviously don't worry about us. At the end of the day, you're a human first type of thing, and you need to go and be with your family. And so I'm just very grateful that I have a team like that and who cares about that side of you, and allowed me to do that. And then just coming back, obviously just trying to get back into the rhythm of things. It can be so hard, especially in the middle of conference play, and just the feel of the game is so different. But coming back into the team, I knew they had my back, and none of them were going to get on me for, I don't know, probably losing fitness or things that you just, have to figure out when you do things like that. But this whole tournament, I think, my Nana's been looking over me, and my whole family's had my back, and a ton of messages coming in through, saying she's proud of me, and I know she is. But yeah, this one was definitely for her and for my family back home.
All right, Jeff, and then we'll go over here. Michelle.
Jeff Metcalf, Pac-12 Hotline. For the players, this is the first women's Pac-12 championship in any sport in school history. I wonder if you could just talk about what that means to you to accomplish that. And then for Kamie, Corey Close said something interesting about how this team reminds her of what you accomplished with Deb Patterson at Kansas State. Do you see a parallel at all between what you were able to do there and what you've done here?
Me first. Well, again, I am so grateful for the time that I spent as an associate head coach at K-State working for Deb Patterson and worked for some unbelievable people, Jane Albright and Jim Foster, but, 18 years at K-State. And, yeah, it was, trying to build that program in the Big 12 when it was not very good. And we did some amazing things. And you learn so much by being an associate, not being the head coach. I think, probably people thought, what in the world, how long are you going to stay an associate head coach? And but I really do think I was trained so well to become a head coach and being patient sometimes in a different role. I think that helps me as a head coach too. So I think I learned an unbelievable amount, and I think I was really prepared to be a head coach. And there's so many parallels to how we, character-wise and how we built that program at K-State and learned everything that I kind of know from, if it's Coach Conrad and Jim Foster, but certainly Deb Patterson was a huge, and is still to our program, a huge asset and peer and wise. And, I think some people make mistakes these days, not having someone maybe older on your staff that has no agenda other than to tell you, you shouldn't do that and you should do that, and looks at it from a different viewpoint. And, a lot of young coaches, I think, make mistakes of getting too many yes people around them. And so I think it's a great fit for our program now. But, yeah, you learn from the people that taught you, and I'm really proud of our staff here.
So in regards, can you please repeat your question?
This is the first women's Pac-12 championship in the East for at WSU.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you guys can comment on
Yeah. I think it's huge. If you know Pullman, it's a town that's not many. I think the city population's about 30,000. 32,000 and 27 to 25 or 25 to 27,000 as students. So it's a very small town. And I think one of the things with that is that it can be very hard to recruit to a small town. It's not the most glitzy glamour city. You don't have the best, facilities and stuff. But if you're coming to WSU, it's because you believe in your coaches, you believe that you can improve, and you love the team that you go into. And I think that's where our success has come from is, we're a bunch of international students. Like Coach has said in the past, we don't really know the college system that well, but we came here based on the fact that we all loved these coaches that we have, and we all believe that they could help us improve as people and as athletes. And I think what we've been able to do is a testament to that, is that our coaches have just really brought us all together, created a vision for us, and I think with enough buy-in from all the right players, it obviously led to a lot of success. And so hopefully, this is definitely not going to be the last, and there's going to be many championships won by WSU in the future.
All right, we're going to go Michelle, and then in the back, and then front.
So I want to understand the football coach. Your football coach was here to talk to your team. Who's here? Who have you heard from already? Which family members have been able to make the trip? I just want to paint me a picture of what you think is going on here and maybe in Pullman.
Our WSU president of all WSU systems is here, Kirk Schultz and Noel, his wife and professor and first lady. And then obviously Pat Chun and McCoy's been here, my boss, and we have just people from Cougar Athletic Fund. We have, our ticket people. Bill Stevens came up with, and he's head of media. My mom is sitting next to you. That's my person, Mitzi. And just the support. I got so many texts and messages from like all the sports. All the sports sent something this morning to us, and it was hilarious. Our men's cross country team actually sang Shania's song to us, and it was a classic. All just, again, I think that's the uniqueness of, and it says a lot about Pat Chun. He hires great coaches. We have great rapport and support for one another. we all know the difficulties of our jobs, and it's unique, I think, of how much we care for each other. And Jake Dickert, I mean, that guy is amazing for any coach that needs help, wants to be around just high energy and just, a great vision for the program. So I just can't say enough about it. I think the people are why kids should choose institutions, and we've got the best people in the country.
In the back.
Isabel Gonzalez, CBS Sports. Coach, I believe this was the first title game without a top 4 seed, and you guys were the lowest seed to ever win the Pac-12 tournament. What can you say about this tournament and this game in particular? What does it say about the depth of this conference?
I think that's it. I mean, we've said it all year long, and every coach has said that. It's just been a gauntlet of who you play. I remember we had like 8 games left, and we were teetering on, is there any way we can get in? And I don't know what we're going to do, but if we go 6-2, we'll get in. And it's just like, that's at USC, at UC. And you start naming all the places you're going, and you're like, yeah, no one's going 6-2 in that gauntlet. But it's a credit to the traditions of this conference and the coaches, the support, the people are invested in women's basketball. The Pac-12 is invested in women's basketball. Our network, the commissioner, Teresa, who is over women's basketball. It is first class, and they value women's basketball. And I think that's why you get so many great coaches and programs that are they're some of the best in the country. And my hope is that we get 8 in, and that we advance and just prove it over and over and over that this league is for real, and you just can't, the facts don't lie. It is top to bottom the best conference in the country.
Kamie, for the last few days, the word vision keeps coming up. I was wondering, maybe if you can think back 5 years of just what was that, and how did you articulate it to your recruits?
Well, I mean, I was fortunate. I was 4 years at Northern Colorado, where I got my start as a head coach, and in that 4th year, we won a regular season championship and outright, and then we won the tournament, and then we were a 10 seed in the NCAA, which was unheard of at Big Sky. Played Michigan and lost to them, but beat LSU and DePaul on the road, and Florida Gulf Coast, just gritty little team. And so we'd proven that you could take something in 3 to 4, 5 years if we just stick to the plan. And I think that's the point. We can make these kids better if they stick to the plan, and if they commit to the plan, and if they buy in. And it's nothing sexy. It's get in the gym and work, and don't settle for being what you can be better than you were yesterday, and we're going to demand it, and we're going to want it, and we're going to expect it, at least, especially from the people who come to you and go, I want to be great. If you say to us you want to be great, then we're going to put a great plan in front of you. And again, not everybody comes in as committed, but by the time they end, they are the rock stars and such solid people and leaders for our program that it elevates everybody. And the freshmen are better now because of this kind of leadership that we have. And the coaches, I say it all the time, we used to be, when we got there, we used to be like the behavior police. Like, that's not good behavior, and why'd you roll your eyes, and that's not that. And all the things that we're trying to develop and do, we sit around and we're talking about those kinds of things. Now, these guys do it. They're in charge, and they speak because it's their program, and they want the standard to be the standard, and everybody's got to rise to that. So that's when you know you have it, is when you get the people that are in the program and in the locker room, and you don't have to be there anymore.
Charlize, can I ask you just, as kind of the game was unfolding down the stretch, what did you kind of see that maybe, I don't know, demanded your kind of like attention of like how the game was going to play out and what kind of needed to unfold for your team?
Yeah, I think if I think back to halftime, Coachy said, or one of our coaching staff mentioned that UCLA is so good in the second half, and we just have to be ready to take punches and roll with the ups and downs of the game that naturally come with basketball. And I think going on into that third and fourth quarter, like you can see in the score, it was close. We only, it was 2 points in it each quarter, and I think the biggest thing for us was just being able to stay in the moment and not let things get too high up or get, too bogged down about things that were going on. And I think the experience that we have on our team right now and the leadership that we have helps with that a lot. And so, I think every time out or every time we came back onto the court, it was something being said like, we've got this, we just need to just focus on this play right here, focus on our next play, or just stay positive, stay together, or all things, little things that we say to each other to keep us in the moment, I think really helps. And that was just kind of it going into the third and fourth quarter, is back ourselves, believe in yourself that we can stick in this game and grind it out. We know that they're going to get some momentum swings here and there, but it's really just how we respond to that and come out on the other end of that. So, yeah, I would just say that.
We'll go two more back in the middle here and then in far back.
So I have right here Matthew Walter with the next. I have two quick ones. Coach, you talked about that championship at Northern Colorado. How does this compare for you, this championship, winning this tournament with this team versus the way you guys did it at Northern Colorado?
Well, it's similar in a million ways. And we watched, you want to talk about, we're kind of rugrats a little bit, but that team was some rugrats. We really, and we had to grow competitiveness and we had to grow toughness because they just really didn't have that. And most of these guys, it's another level of talent. It's another level usually of mindset and elite, length and bodies and potential. But similar, and we did it the same way. We did it, the standard was still going to be the standard and everybody was going to have to rise to that. But again, doing this at the Pac-12 level, it was a challenge. That's why I left Northern, to do it at this kind of level with these kinds of athletes and these kinds of bodies. And can we do it? Hard job, not the easiest thing in Pullman, but you get the right people and they're committed. Look at us now.
And then for Bella and Ula, can you just talk about what Charlize you've seen playing with her and what she means to your team, both as a player and as a person, and just how she's grown, because you play with her now a couple of seasons, just what she means to this team.
Well, I've said it when we had an interview right there. Coming in, I really I played in 1A, Division 1A, I was playing against 4-0 girls that I just had to catch the ball and shoot it in. So they really didn't have any post moves or any experience of or any IQ at all. I got some right now, seeing her when she came in as a freshman and how much how much better she was, and she kind of pushes you to be better because you want to play with her and you want to help her score and help her play defense because she's so good in every single spot of every single aspect of the game, and she just kind of motivates you to get better. And she stayed with me this summer, and she was motivating me every single time in the summer, we work out. And Turbo Tuesdays, I feel like I'm not running or anything. She'll be just imagine how good it's going to be when you're in shape and running better than most of the bigs in the Pac-12. I'm okay. So she just really motivates you, and she's a great person outside off the court, and she's my sister, and everything she's been through, and for her to come back and give everything she has, and it just goes to show you good things happen to good people, and this is definitely for Hanena, and I'm so proud of her and love her, and I would do anything for her. And that means waking up every single time and go to practice and not even feeling like it. I'll have to do that. Love you, Charlize.
Where to start with Lise? No, I think when everyone talks about Charlize, and it's different because you guys know her basketball, and she's amazing, and we all know that. But Lise off the court is one of the coolest people ever. She just she's just different. I mean, I know there's girls out there in our league and even just across the country who may be really good at basketball and they're just like, that's it. They don't really care about their teammates or they're not really invested in other people. It's just me, me, me. But with Lisa, it's different. She's a relationship person. If she knows you're doing something and it's not right, she's going to tell you straight away. If she doesn't like something, she's going to tell you straight away. But I think she knows how to have fun off the court. She knows how to switch on the serious basketball mode, Charlize, and then off the court it's the goofy, won't stop singing, wants to make TikToks, fun Charlize. And I think that's what she's really good at is balance. And I mean, who she is as a person is a testament to her parents and the way that they raised her. Obviously to be a kind person before anything. And I might start crying if I look at you. No, I think that's why obviously her going home was so important is because family comes first. And obviously when she's over here and she might not have family, she does reach out to us and she has a good connection with everyone on our team. And I think that's why she's valuable in any team.
We'll go up here in the back.
Andrew Quinn, Crum 2 in Spokane. Congratulations, ladies. Bella, down the stretch, you've really seemed to take your game to a new level. And also, when you guys played Colorado and Utah at home without Charlize, you guys were able to keep those games really close. What was it that was there something that clicked for you down the stretch that you just decided that you were able to kind of take on this bigger role offensively and become more of a scorer? And then those two games, how much did those two help you guys gain confidence for this tournament in particular, especially with the gauntlet that you had to face?
Well, like with Charlize not being there, all of us had to like be big in terms of like defense, offense, and just rise up to the challenge. And of course, we would love her to stay and be there for those games. But it just kind of like everybody just stepped it up in a practice that we all had to just hold each other accountable. Ula was great for being the biggest leader, and everyone just stepped up. But we also knew that we could do it, and the fact that we kept it close, those two games just showed you that how much better everybody got and how much everybody stepped up, especially for AT and some of the freshmen in the team. Well, I feel like in the first half or third quarter, I was kind of like trying to like play finesse and stuff, and trying to like, and I let the bigs from UCLA kind of like, and like just Coach E says that I'm always finesse and try to take shots that she doesn't recognize. So I really had to like in the fourth quarter, I really had to step it up and actually like rise up to the challenge because I knew we only had 10 minutes of this. Thing that if we really wanted to make it another first, I had to just be physical as much as I hate it, but I had to be physical and go against the, I had to be physical and just go against the bigs and finish my moves because I know I've put the work in, so I just had to really trust it, and yeah, we did it. Go Cougs.
Do we have any final questions? One more in the back here.
Well, since your mom is right here, what kind of advice did she give you today, and what did she say after you won?
I think she knows better to give me advice at this point, probably. She says, get ahead and stay ahead. That's one of her best ones that she says. And, she's just we call some people cry bags. I have a dog that's a cry bag. When I leave the room, it cries. And she's a cry bag. She's just really proud and happy, and I'm just thrilled that she was here with us, and love my team that just loves her so much and takes care of her. And it is just, she's the best. She demanded a lot from us, but the poise and grace that she's always had is just the thing that stands out to me, and she's still doing it now. So if I can be a little bit like her, that's awesome. So it's awesome. It's a good day. It's a good day to have her here.
And I think that's a good place to wrap.
Yep. Go Cougs!
Go Cougs! Woo-hoo!